And I can put this on YouTube, right?
Yeah, okay.
Does it start right away? No, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it does.
I don't know. Oh, okay. All right. Well, here we are. This is my buddy Rob. I'm John. Some of you guys know me as Captain. We'll just call me whatever the hell you want to call me. But that's Rob. Rob, do you want to be called something else? You want to have it make?
No, I don't have. You have earned your nickname. I don't have a nickname.
I didn't earn my nickname. I gave it to myself. Let's give you. We're gonna give you a nick. We're gonna get you a wrestling nickname as the show goes on. What's the name of the show? We don't know. One day, sometimes it happens, right? So what this is just two guys talking about wrestling. We can't go out. You can't go anywhere. You know, everybody's grounded. So we can't talk about wrestling. I can't go on Facebook no more because the world's crazy. And I saw an anti-mask meme, and I threw my phone out the window, and I'm done with Facebook. So I can't follow wrestling no more. You, Rob, I would say if there was a wrestling person I would connect you to, I would say would be the genius, Lanny Poffo. Not Lanny Poffo, but the genius as the persona, because you know so much about wrestling. I'm jealous and envious of the knowledge that you have. But
I don't know if I have all that kind of knowledge. But
whoa. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to be jealous of. I mean, it's wrestling, you know.
Yeah.
So
got proven this week.
So
Tom Segura.
Who?
Tom Segura's take on wrestling. You know, the comedian.
Yeah, I know him. What did he say?
He does that podcast with his wife.
Yeah, I know.
Tom. I think Tom's hilarious. And he was talking about how wrestling's fake. He said the fake word and got the marks all riled up, and some of the wrestlers tweeted at him and said, "Oh, you know, like Baron Corbin." And I'm like, I understand where they're coming from. It's scripted. We all know it's scripted.
Right.
You're crazy.
Right.
But those guys get hurt. I mean, Mick Foley getting thrown off the top of that cage was definitely not how it was supposed to end up happening. And yeah, he said, "Oh, they're just stuntmen and stuff, and blah blah blah." And he did this whole spiel about riling up the wrestling marks and getting the people off. Like they literally lost their mind at this guy on Twitter and Instagram and stuff.
Because he said wrestling was fake?
Yeah, and he called them. He said he furthered it by equating it to like watching the Special Olympics. It's nice, but it's not real.
That's boy, I don't know who that insults. The Special Olympics or wrestling.
I think
maybe neither. You know what?
Olympics.
I would say, wow. What did the wrestler do to Tom Segura? Why is he?
Nothing. I think he was talking about. He does this stuff where he likes to rile people up.
Oh.
And he picked ones that are easy targets. Like you know, hardcore wrestling fans get all bent out of shape as soon as they hear fake and blah blah blah, and you can't talk bad about it. But as much as if you looked at some of the wrestling websites and stuff, they are the worst ones because they crap all over it all the time. Like WWE can never do anything right, never anything right.
I completely disagree with you. I think WWE, I mean, everything I'm wearing, WWE, everything's WWE.
Once somebody gets too popular, they don't want to hear about them anymore. Like before, Kenny Omega was the best wrestler in the world. Now he's not the best wrestler in the world anymore because he's getting jobbed out on AEW now. I'm like,
oh, you know what? We should talk about this. Here's the thing. See, Kenny Omega, I've probably only seen Kenny Omega wrestle 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at as a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody but I watch every WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't watch. Right. Yeah.
Like Omega is a bigger name for the non-casual fan. That's why he's people thought he would be the inaugural AEW champion. That was like the rumors going around when it first started out. Like it was going to be him and Jericho for the belt. And I was like, well, it makes more sense to have somebody that's more recognized by a non-casual fan to be the front face of it. And that's why Jericho ultimately won the belt.
Right. And the lineage.
Moxley's carrying the belt now. I mean, they're building up the brand. That's what they're doing. Has Kenny Omega performed well the last 5 or 6 years? Yeah, if you go back and look at some of this stuff that he did in New Japan before he came over here, and he's on TV every week. Most people didn't go watch New Japan. Some people did. I did because I liked a lot of the guys that are in WWE now that came from New Japan.
Like who?
Finn Balor. When he was in New Japan, he was Prince Devitt.
Wait, Rob, before we get all into this, real quick, we should tell people about us real quick.
Yeah.
Before we can talk about
that
the
makes sense,
right? Because they're gonna, like you can hear Rob, like he's talking. He Prince Devitt, right?
Yeah.
You had a Prince Devitt T-shirt, probably, didn't you?
The Bullet Club, the original Bullet Club.
Yeah, right. No, not me. No. I like the guy with the belts. I don't know why he has belts as the beast or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
What's that called?
The demon.
Yeah. Now here's another thing. He never loses as the demon.
No, not supposed to.
So why would he not always wrestle as the demon? I just don't get that. But so anyway.
That's a whole nother story.
That's it. It's our first whatever this is. Let us talk about our favorites, so you can get to know. Like I can tell a person by who their favorite wrestler is. Yeah, right. Yeah. So like somebody goes, "Oh, my favorite wrestler is," like a lot of people say Ric Flair, and I say if you say Ric Flair is your favorite wrestler, you just got no personality. Come on, man. That's vanilla ice cream. You gotta have a. So who is your favorite? And watch it be Ric fucking Flair. That's gonna be so funny.
No,
who's your favorite?
I mean, Flair's a legend, and you gotta respect.
He's not even on my Stonehenge or whatever the hell that planet's called. Not the planet, not Stonehenge. I'm really Mount Rushmore. He's not even on that.
The thing with Flair is if you go and like some of this stuff, like the Flair Steamboat trilogy, that's wrestling. But neither. I love that trilogy, but not my favorite. My favorite, and I have different sections. Like I have favorite current guys. Like my favorite current guy is Kevin Owens. Right. I liked Owens when he was in Ring of Honor.
Right.
The way I always looked at, but that's older me. Younger me, growing up, Macho was always my guy.
No, really, Macho.
The reason I say that, and I was just everybody liked Hogan during the Hulkamania run.
Right, Hulk Hogan was the coolest. Why would you not want Hulk Hogan?
And everybody liked him.
Right, he was the best.
I liked Hogan too.
Right, he was the best. He always won. He was the champion.
When Macho got hit in the head by Honky with the guitar on Saturday night.
So unlike Honky Tonk Man. So unlike him.
On Saturday night's main event, and he went from heel to the good guy. He went to the face.
Right.
And that's when he started chasing Honky, and that's when I kind of like, wow,
Honky Tonk Man, not a white man. Honky Tonk Man.
Honky Tonk Man.
Right.
And that's when I started really liking Macho. I watched as a kid with Hulk and Snuka.
What's your first wrestling like memory? Like
seeing Hulk win the belt the first time when he won the belt.
You saw that?
Yeah, I saw.
How old are you?
40. I'll be 44 in November.
Okay, all right. Yes, you're about the same age. All right.
Yeah, I saw it. I think it was like a Saturday morning. They replayed it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. They probably had like a cable syndication.
Yeah, they had it. My wife's
Oh, you're like Undertaker. You're too good to do the show. Have you seen the Undertaker do these interviews?
Yes.
Every interview, his wife walks by and he's look. You're doing it right now. Too good. All right, Undertaker. Too good. Okay. No, but I fucking love it, Undertaker. I've been watching these Undertaker interviews, and they're so anyway. What was your favorite wrestler? Macho Man. You said Macho.
And then but then like later on. That was like the golden era. Then the next was Attitude. Attitude guy, Triple H.
Oh my God, you got the worst taste. God, what's Triple H? God, who else?
Well, the thing with Triple H is when he became the guy, and it was before he was
the guy,
with
right?
The family,
right?
Everybody left. Like Austin and Rock left. Taker was hurt. Nobody was elevated. Foley was on his way out, and it was kind of like, I love Mick, but I always thought that.
No, I think that's when I jumped on board the Angle train. Was that like great?
Kurt?
Yeah.
Too. I mean, I thought Kurt was very talented. He's one of the best professional pure wrestlers there was. I mean, I'm also a big Jericho fan. I've been a Jericho fan.
Right.
Since but like I remember Jericho wrestling ECW when he first. That's the first time I saw Chris Jericho. Was
right? Yeah. Me too. I don't remember it. Nothing stuck out
for a little while.
Yeah, I definitely saw him. I was at ECW. I was at the Sabu Terry Funk barbed wire match.
Yeah,
and
was that the barely legal pay-per-view?
It wasn't a pay-per-view. It wasn't a pay. You were at the pay-per-view?
Yeah, the first one at the arena was.
Yeah, I never saw that. It was
Funk and Raven. You never, dude. That was crazy. It was like that's where they had Jasmine St. Clair and there was like porno stars, and the one chick was like half naked, and the Dudley's like, "We're gonna fight everybody outside in the parking lot." It was crazy.
Yeah, I was.
I saw Stone Cold at ECW before he was Stone Cold.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah. You were there. I was there the night. They had a steel cage match, and Jerry Lawler was invading ECW.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then
I was there.
And then Sandman and Tommy Dreamer come to the ring with a shopping cart with a beer bubble in it, and they come into the ring, and the lights go out. And Rick Rude is their fucking surprise tag team partner. And then turns out Rick Rude is with Jerry the King Lawler. And they beat the piss out of Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman.
Sandman and Dreamer.
I have the bubble. I have the beer bubble.
Oh, that's awesome.
Not the beer bubble. I have the box. I don't know why. It's up in my kids' room. I have a closet of shit. And I just said, if you ever touch any of this, and after that night was over, I got all the wrestlers to autograph it, and Terry Funk was drinking a can of Coors Light. And I said, Terry Funk, you drink Coors Light? I can't believe it. And he said, son, I only drink the best beer in the world. Free beer.
That's correct.
I said, oh, okay, Terry Funk.
I used to go to those shows all the time. Like they had, I want to say it was like 95. They had a show at North Catholic. The main event was Public Enemy versus, I think, the Pitbulls.
Okay. That's a great finishing. That's a great finisher. Total elimination?
No, that was the Eliminators. That was Perry Saturn and John Kronos. The Pitbulls were Gary Wolf and Pitbull number 2.
They were going to train me. Now, what was their finisher? Was it like a bulldog?
Yeah, it looked like a
bulldog off the top rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I go through different areas. Like, I always love Roddy because Roddy was the ultimate heel.
Right.
Ultimate bad guy, should have got his run. I understand why he didn't want the run. He was the guy that built him, and Sheik built Hulkamania. Without either one of them, you wouldn't have Hulkamania the way it was. Look. You needed the good bad guy.
Look. Anybody could have been the Sheik, man. Anybody could have been the Sheik. That was a 2-minute match.
Well, true, but
Piper had to sell Piper had to sell a pay-per-view. Iron Sheik had to
Oh,
sell.
I know.
Iron
Piper
Sheik
was
didn't even have.
awesome.
Iron Sheik really didn't have to sell anything because Hulk Hogan was fresh off. And I love the Iron Sheik.
You needed
a real bad guy.
You needed at that time. You needed like the anti-American bad guy, and him and Volkov were perfect as the anti-American bad guy.
Oh, he's the best
forever. Then, like, if you look at that time frame, Hulk probably should have dropped it to Roddy at least once. Should have.
Oh yeah, you know what though? You know what? I'm kind of
dropped it to Jake.
I'm glad he didn't because it really, seriously, it fucks up my mind as a wrestling fan because whenever a guy has the belt and it's not for 3 years like Hogan's first run, I don't think it's a bullshit run. I swear to God, it really makes me think.
The last.
So CM Punk's run when he went for over a year, and I don't, that was a big deal because I don't care about Brock Lesnar, and I love Brock Lesnar. He's a champion, he's an athlete, he's a beast, he's a monster. He doesn't work the same schedule Hulk Hogan did. Not even the same schedule as Punk didn't even work the same schedule Hogan did.
No,
but
Punk's schedule was a lot harder than Brock's ever was.
I love that. For that 3-year run, my guy who was Hogan.
Of course.
My little heart, my first wrestling.
I loved Hogan too.
My first wrestling match was at the Spectrum, and it was Paul Orndorff versus Hulk Hogan in a steel cage. Yeah. It's you can find it on the network. This whole match, this whole thing. Crazy people wrestled in it, like crazy people, like legends from like the 70s wrestled like in the first 2 matches. So anyway, Hulk Hogan, they're setting up this cage, and I don't know wrestling's, fake, as Pete Segura says. What's his name? Tom Segura?
Segura, yeah.
I'm not even trying to be a dick. I don't, not like 2 people will watch this, so it doesn't matter. But seriously, so my heart, I was like, they're strapping in this cage, and my hero, my little Hulkamaniac heart, I grabbed my dad. I said, Dad, I don't think Hulk's going to make it. I don't know. Paul Orndorff gave him the pile driver just a week prior. and they had the match. And I never felt like I went to Sixers games and I went to Phillies. Maybe a Phillies game home run is the closest I ever felt to a Hulk Hogan entrance in the 80s at the Spectrum.
When he would, like, when that music would hit, you just like, it was insane. There was runs where he would come out and he didn't have to do anything. All he had to do was put his hand to his ear, do the flex, rip the shirt off, and it was insane. And he did it for 4 years straight, where it was just like him. And during that time frame, Hulk was the guy. I mean, everybody loved Hulk. Like when they did the whole the twin brother angle on Saturday Night's Main Event, and he lost the belt to Andre, and then Andre handed it over to $1 Million Man.
I stopped watching. I stopped watching for like 6 months. I swear to God, I stopped watching. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, but then
I was like, "What do you mean? Yeah, Hulk Hogan can't be the champion?" I didn't watch it. I swear to God, I didn't watch WrestleMania 4. I was like, "This is horseshit." I think this is horseshit. Hulk Hogan didn't lose the belt. There shouldn't be a tournament. Let's give it back to the Hulkster.
I was there. That was my.
You were at WrestleMania 4?
Yeah.
Oh.
In Atlantic City.
Oh wow. Where'd you sit? Up high?
Up high. Yeah.
It's okay. It's not high. Yeah. I was just there for a concert last summer.
It was good. You could see everything, and the building lost its mind. I remember the building losing its mind when Hogan and Andre were double disqualified. And then when Macho won, like it was he got a big ovation because it was like a big thing when Macho won. And I think that's kind of where like the whole run to him get to that point was a fun run. If you look back at when it started, because he was chasing Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental title, and he was fighting Jimmy Hart and the Hart Foundation and Honky Tonk Man, and it was just Macho and Elizabeth. And then Hulk lost the belt because he was going to go do no holds barred. He was going. That's why he didn't lost the belt. He was going to go do the movie.
No, that's why he
That
lost
was
that
part
belt.
of the reason why.
That piece of
Yeah.
shit. You know, I swear to God, I hate that movie. I hate that movie. I don't. Cheryl was like, "Yo, let's watch a wrestling movie."
Nostalgia-wise, it's funny.
I've never liked it. I never knew that's the reason why I hated it till right now. I'm glad I hate that piece of shit movie.
But yeah, I would totally rock the T-shirt though, the Brooklyn T-shirt, because it's funny.
I don't
Like
get.
I used to have a Thunder Lips T-shirt too.
I would rock a Thunder Lips T-shirt. I was in an auction. Hold on, I wasn't in an auction. I saw an auction where they had the Thunder Lips robe.
Oh.
And it started at $300. The bidding started at $300, and I didn't even ask. I said, "Boop," right, and it said next bid $6,000. I said, "Oh, that was fun. That was fun." I don't even think my bid made it. I don't even know, but I put $300. I would. What's the you have any like wrestling stuff at your house, like wrestling?
No, not really. I mean, I used to have stuff, and then I ended up unloading it a while back. Part of it is I don't have anywhere to keep anything.
Right.
And then my wife's like, that's for the little kid's house, not the big boy's house and stuff like that. So I kind of.
Oh, is that what she says to you? And then I would say, "This is what the big boot does," and here comes the big leg, and then I get the big ear, and and then I stand there with my fucking toy.
I have one little thing.
One.
And, one item, but nothing. Like I like a lot of the old stuff, and like some of it, I had a lot of this stuff, and I offloaded a bunch of it. Like I sold my baseball cards and like comic books and jazz like that, and that stuff. And I go back and I go, damn, if I'd have kept it, how much money would I have? Like those old LJN big, the wrestling guys.
Yeah, I have 30 of them in my living room.
Hulk Hogan and
right there. Yeah, I got 30 of them in my living room.
Well, if you have like certain ones,
I know.
So
I won't
like
sell
the Macho Man is.
There's one Kamala that has like, if it has like a blue moon and if his nipples tilt at a 90 degree, it's worth $60 million. This guy here is worth $1 or $2.
But the podcast that Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder do about.
I love it. I
think it's neat. I like the fact that they both are real like hard. I love the new figures. I think a lot of the new figures are cool. But I just, what am I going to? What am I going to do with them? Play with them.
I buy LJN figures. I just because of Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder's podcast. I started buying LJNs again. Yeah. So I didn't. You don't come by them that often. But the last time I went to a flea market before the world ended, I got the Mr. Fuji.
Oh, cool.
So I was thinking about maybe even like taking the time to painting them up.
Yeah.
But that's never going to happen. I'm never going to sit there and paint anything.
Only thing I have memorabilia besides my memories of things, because I went to a lot of cool stuff. But I have a Young Bucks pop set. And
I got the Young Bucks LJNs.
The reason I got the pops was when I was supposed to run in. I talked to Nick on Twitter, and he wanted to sign it because it was over. I saw them when they were in. This was like 10 years ago. They weren't the Young Bucks yet, but they were, and just fanboying it up a little bit, and they remember me being big, and then I wanted to get a picture of me being skinny. And they're like, yeah, bring the pop. We'll sign it and stuff. And it just didn't work out because their schedule got screwed up. But it's fine. I mean, at some point I'll run into one of them and sign. But yeah, I went to WrestleMania 4. That was fun. I wanted to go to 5, but couldn't go to 5.
All right.
But I did go to Halloween Havoc when it was the first one was here.
Is that the one with Oz?
It was it was Sting and Flair versus Muta and Terry Funk, and the Steiners fought Doom. You remember
Oh,
Doom?
Ron Simmons
And
and
Butch Reed.
yeah.
And the reason Honky Tonk Man won the Intercontinental title, you know why he got that run?
He
beat Steamboat because Steamboat was going to go on maternity leave because Richie, his son, was being born and he wanted to be home for that. Well, Honky wasn't supposed to have the belt. It was supposed to go to Butch Reed.
Right.
But Butch Reed didn't show up.
Right. Yeah, Butch Reed fucked himself, I heard. Yeah.
And that's why he wasn't too long with WWF at the time after that.
Right.
He left and went to WCW, and it was him and Ron Simmons with Teddy Long and Woman and stuff.
Know what I like? I like when people, you just do it. I do it all the time.
Uh-huh.
Why do we correct ourselves when we say WWF? Why don't we, who the fuck's going to sue us? I do it all the time. I'll be in the middle of
I do it in real life when you're not even.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're not just this is real life, by the way. Nobody, like I'm saying, it's just me and you talking, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, why do we do that?
I have no idea.
Like the World Wildlife Foundation is going to say, hey, asshole, we heard you. That's so fucking funny. So you made a list. You made a list of a bunch of shit. So let's do a list.
All right. What do you want to start with? I can do my top 10 wrestlers of all time, and that's not including tag teams. I have a tag team list too. I have the events that I've went to that in the rankings that I like them.
Oh, you ranked your events?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And WrestleMania 4 isn't in the top 5.
I don't blame you. Hulk Hogan didn't win.
Well, part of it is I was young. I mean, I think I was was that 88?
Yeah.
So I was 10.
10, yeah. I'll tell you my favorite event from Jump. My favorite pay-per-view of all time is SummerSlam 90. Hogan versus Earthquake, Warrior, Rude, Blue Cage.
Yeah.
I took a year. I think I took a little bit of time off from wrestling because my champion lost the belt, and I got back into it, and I bought tickets to this thing. My cheapskate dad said, "I'm not gonna go. You can't go to that. You got to buy me a ticket too." So I bought 2 tickets to go to this fucking pay-per-view, and it was. It may be my favorite pay-per-view of all fucking time. It's a classic golden era, ridiculous, stupid pay-per-view.
I remember that. That was that at the Spectrum?
Yeah, it was at the Spectrum.
Yeah. I didn't go to that, but I do remember watching it. I thought it was. I think I was watching it for Rick Rude and Warrior. I thought that was a fun match. I remember. I don't remember how. I know Hogan was on the bill because he was the champ.
For the Earthquake.
And with Earthquake, I don't remember that. But
opens up. Who know who the dark match was? The dark match was this dark. Well, we weren't there. The dark match was this young guy named Dustin Rhodes.
Oh.
He wrestled. I forget who. You can look it up online. But he wrestled somebody like Buddy Rogers or something.
Oh.
And that was the dark match. And Roddy Piper came back for the first time as a commentator, and the crowd popped like crazy. And the first match was Power and Glory versus the Rockers. And Power and Glory are my favorite tag team. My favorite finishing move in wrestling history is the Power and Glory finishing hold. I
remember that. Didn't Paul Roma jump off the top rope after
Hercules would do a suplex off the top ropes, and Paul Roma did this flying splash. And
worst horseman.
Well,
he's the worst horseman.
You ever hear him talk about it?
Yeah,
I love hearing him talk about it. He changes my mind. I'm like, you know what? Ric Flair is not that nice of a guy.
No, wow.
And you got to remember that too. Ric Flair is not that nice of a guy.
Of course he's not. But to be the man, you don't have to be nice. I mean, that's part of his gimmick too.
No, nice. I don't know. I think
wives.
I
Hulk
think
wasn't a nice guy in reality land. As Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea is not a nice guy.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
No, he apologized and Booker T forgave him. That's good enough for me. I don't know what else.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about all the other stuff.
I don't know what other stuff there is. I just know people talk about that. And I know Booker T is a good man, and we forget Booker T. Booker T robbed the Wendy's.
Television, Booker T.
Huh? Right.
Booker T, best live mistake on television ever.
Booker T robbed the Wendy's. I don't go talking about that every 5 seconds. Hey, I forgive Booker T. Hey, let's forgive Hulk Hogan. Ultimate Warrior, I don't forgive. I think he was an asshole. He was an asshole. I was so mad when my grandpa got me this for Christmas. I wanted the Hulk Hogan one so bad.
It's still, I mean, you find out it's bad stuff after the fact.
We were talking about this. This is the prep work we did for the show.
Like the Snuka thing,
right?
Like I didn't know. No, as kids, we didn't know how bad a dude he was, and then you find out, and you're like,
I cheered for him the month he got arrested. The month he got arrested, I probably cheered for him.
Oh yeah, I know.
And it happened. It happened in my neighborhood almost.
And like the new show that's on TV,
Dark Side of the Ring.
So good. You find out all these like things, and you're like, wow, like there are really seedy things that go on in the wrestling business that you're just like the first episode the first season with Bruiser Brody, and you're like,
right.
He literally got murdered,
right,
for doing his gig,
right?
Being Bruiser Brody.
The only thing I don't like about that situation is that Tony Atlas is like the only eyewitness, and Tony Atlas. I watch a lot of shoot interviews. Like
he changes his story.
I think you can learn a lot from life, just personal stuff, by watching wrestling shoot interviews. No shit.
Oh yeah,
I really do believe that.
Especially if they're being.
And I'll watch anybody do a shoot interview. I can't watch Tony Atlas. The guy's fucking lunatic. He'll change. He'll talk about all kinds of shit.
His story never stays the same.
He's very he's very entertaining to watch. Was he ever? I mean, the Samba Simba thing was kind of bizarre. I don't know.
When his biggest thing ever was when he was tag team champs with Rocky Johnson.
Kid.
That's about it.
Yeah. I called him Rock's kid. I meant Rock's dad. So guys, let's do it. Again, do something. What's your favorite event?
My favorite event all time, my favorite pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble. Always. Yeah. WrestleMania is great, right? But the Rumble is the match itself is so much fun.
The best pay-per-view of the year, hands Royal down. Rumble. You don't even have to watch wrestling.
No, and you can get into it.
Right. It's you can make little bets.
Yeah, it's fun. I think
did you watch the Rumble with me one year?
Yeah, I watched the Rumble with you that one year.
So you saw how we do it with stupid. It's a fun time. And it's always a fun time, and you can watch a Royal Rumble at any time.
Oh yeah,
and it's a good time.
The best pay-per-view in my opinion of all time was the one when they put the belt up when Flair won the belt.
Oh yes, yes,
that was the best Rumble. It was so good.
You were there?
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. No.
I was worried about the ones we were at.
I've been to the Royal Rumble. I went 2015. When Roman Reigns won and he got booed and Rock came out and Rock tried to save it in Philadelphia.
He got booed. Yeah.
The Rumble was great because all the guys that came back, like Bubba Ray came back and DDP came out when everybody thought Daniel Bryan was going to win and he got tossed out early and it was like,
Rey Mysterio got booed.
Yeah, because they thought he was coming out as 30. Brian was going to come back or something. Nope. And then Roman got booed. The fact that they were cheering for Rusev at the time, who was a super heel at the time, and they cheered for Rusev.
I remember a year later, there was a flag match. It was Cena versus Rusev.
Rusev still had the best entrance in wrestling.
It was a flag match in America. On the 4th of July, it was a pay-per-view on the 4th of July in Philadelphia, and we were cheering for the fucking Russian. Oh, I fucking love Philadelphia.
Well, Philadelphia is.
We ain't cheering for John Cena.
The Philadelphia is known to cheer for the heels.
Uh-huh.
Like CM Punk did a shoot interview, and he's like, there was a match. He's like, where Rock and Roll Express was fighting the Midnights, and people were cheering for Midnights and booing the Rock and Roll Express, and he's like,
right.
only in Philadelphia.
Right.
He's like, you could be the biggest piece of crap heel and do all kinds of heely things, as long as you don't mess around and say that the Flyers or the Eagles suck in Philly, you're fine. He's like,
right.
He's like, get instant heel heat. Say the Eagles suck and the Flyers suck and the Philly.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's in most major cities.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Tag.
But like Punk's a Chicago kid, but I think he made his name here doing Ring of Honor here. He became CM Punk here, and when he was here as I think I was at a Raw, and he came out and he was talking about Murphy's Wreck. His first real big wrestling thing was with Ring of Honor, and it was at Murphy's Wreck, and he wrestled Eddie Guerrero at Murphy's Wreck.
Oh yeah.
South Philly, and I remember that because I was there. I went to see Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah.
Because this was when he got fired from WWE.
Right, he was partying.
Had that like short period where he was doing the indies, and then he went back to WWE, and that's when he won the title. But yeah, the Rumble has always been my favorite thing to see. It was one of the best ones I was ever at. I had such fun that night. Roman won, got booed out of the building, but the main event before that was Cena, Rollins, and Lesnar.
Oh.
And I think Lesnar still had the title, and he ended up winning. He like got knocked out like 10 minutes into the match on and it was like he laid outside for like 15 minutes, didn't move, and then he came back in and won. It was like, and you saw like, I thought it was fun because it wasn't what people were expecting. They thought Rollins was going over, and he definitely did not go over. But the Rumble's always been my favorite pay-per-view.
Right. I was at the one at Madison Square Garden when Cena came back in 2008.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I was at that. I was at the other one they had in Philly. I think Benoit won it. The first one they had in Philly.
Was that 2000?
It was right after Tug McGraw died. It's John Cena. I didn't know who John Cena was, and he was talking about Tug McGraw. I was like, hey, I like that young whippersnapper. He rapped about the dead pitcher. And I only went because it was the Royal Rumble. And we played this Royal Rumble drinking game wherever you try to throw somebody over the top rope and they don't get thrown over. You take a swig of beer. You get shit-faced. So we found a place that had two yard beers for $12. And me and my buddies had 6 of them, and we drank all of them at the Royal Rumble. Somehow we got home, and don't drink and drive.
That's the best part of going to the ECW arena. You could sneak beers in with you, and nobody said anything to you.
No, dude, I serve them. They served a fetus. I saw a fetus get served at the you get a slice of pizza for $3 and a $4 or $3 cup of warm beer.
Yeah.
A 2-month-old with a cigarette tattoo.
We snuck of Milwaukee's Best, or was it Milwaukee's Best, or was it Miller Lite? It was something into the ECW arena. We're sitting.
It was definitely Milwaukee's Best and not Miller Lite. Right.
We were sitting there we sat there, had it in a bag, and we're getting wrecked. The fact that the Sandman took 3 of the beers as he walked to the ring is bad.
No,
going to the dollar store before ECW was great too. You go to the dollar store and fill up on junk to hand to the wrestlers.
Oh yeah. It's this beer can.
Beer.
I saw him at the ECW arena. There was like a bootleg Royal Rumble, but it wasn't ECW. It was one of those many offshoot. So he comes walking to the ring, and I watch him walk around, and I line up he's doing this thing where he chugs the beer. So I see him line up, and I go, okay. So he does the beer, he goes to the next section. Does the beer, goes to the next section. Drinks the beer. I come up to the fourth section. I'm lined up. He comes up, bam! He's right at me. I know where he's going to be. He gets the beer, and he pours it down my throat. And after I start spitting it, he's supposed to. I don't stop. I chugged the whole beer out of the whole fucking can. I ripped the beer out of the Sandman's hand, and I smashed my fucking head with this beer can, and I pointed to the guy in the ring. And the Sandman looks at me, and he goes, "Great job, kid."
Yeah.
I have a shelf of nothing of shit but my dead grandmother. The only other thing on that shelf is this fucking beer can. That's how special this beer can is to me. I fucking love wrestling.
The ECW arena was a whole nother level of crazy. When they had, when you could go there, and the lady that used to do the tickets, we used to bribe her with tasty cakes to give us better tickets. Her name was Edie. I loved Edie. She used to hook us up all the time because we would bring her food and like random other things. And she's like, "You guys come all the time and always have crappy tickets. Why don't you buy them?" I'm like, "We're broke." But
right.
Yeah, we would. I used to go a lot. I mean, I know I was there when they had to have the cops come because the Dudleys were in the middle of doing that run where they would taunt the whole crowd and they were going to fight everybody in the crowd. Well, these dum-dums decided to hang out afterwards, and the boys go and do their thing, and then you're not going to let the bad guys aren't people didn't get the bad guys and the good guys a lot of times are friends and hanging out. So Bubba and Devon are coming out, and these morons decide that they want to fight Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley.
No.
I'm like, Bubba's like 6'6", easy. He's like, I think he's like, and Devon, they're both big dudes.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Well, they took a swing, and then the next thing you know, you just see Sabu clipping a dude in the back of the head, and Rob Van Dam clipping a dude in the back of the head. I'm like, you're not fighting wrestlers. You meet.
Yeah. They're very.
I never understood that.
Yeah, they one time we were at the ECW arena. It was after the Rick Rude night, and we were trying to get wrestlers to autograph the beer box. And I saw Joey Styles
Joey's awesome.
walking out of the arena, and he was with, I'm thinking, Francine, but maybe not Francine. I get them all confused. They all were the same person to me. An Italian woman, an Italian girl from Long Island with fake boobs, very skinny.
Francine was from here. Francine actually grew up in Philly, South Philly, I think.
Don't shit on my city, Rob. I was going to shit on the Long Island look. Okay, whatever. So skinny girl with big boobs, South Philly girl, exactly. Long Island, South Philly, same fucking thing. So Francine got fucking pile drived in the match before. So
it was definitely Francine.
So they're walking out to the car together, but she's trying to keep kayfabe or whatever. And I go, "Joey, can I get you to autograph my beer box?" And honestly, out of all the people whose autograph I wanted, it would probably be Joey Styles.
Joey's awesome.
Joey Styles and JR. I mean, I know it's not close, but it's a lot closer than people think it really, to me, I think those two, JR is the best of all time. There's not even anything close. Joey Styles did fucking pay-per-views by himself all the time. I don't think anybody gives Joey the ounce of respect he deserves.
And the fact that he stood up to JBL and knocked JBL out.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Good. So anyway, so Joey Styles and Francine, whoever the fuck she is, the Long Island, South Philly girl, they're walking by. And I said, "Joey, can you sign my box?" And he goes, "Oh, I can't right now, pal. I got to take her to the hospital." And she's like, And I go, "Oh, Joey, you got to give me a quick, oh my God." And he goes, he stops Francine, pats her on the head, and he looks me dead in the eyes, and he goes, "Oh my God! If I could have, I would have." Oh, it was the best. It might have been my favorite moment in wrestling ever. That, and my buddy doesn't even like wrestling. He goes, "That fucking girl was dying, and he stopped to do that." And he didn't get it. I was like, "Oh, it was so fucking good. It was so fucking good."
But no, anything went at the ECW arena. It would just during
you
that
could
time
smoke
frame,
in there. You could
yeah, it
smoke
was
cigarettes.
crazy.
I never smoked pot in there, but I definitely smoked cigarettes in there.
There's plenty of pockets smoked in there too. There was definitely lots of pockets.
You know what? I did smoke pot in there. Mushrooms, maybe. Who knows? Could have been. Possibly. Probably not. Maybe. Probably.
And you probably weren't the only one doing it. I mean, half the locker room was probably doing it too.
Oh, I wrote that we were outside the gate getting the beer box signed yet again, and Sabu was smoking a blunt or a joint, and there was like a metal grate that was down, and I go, "Yo, come here, sign my box." He said, "No, man, I'm doing this," and then he like went back and his head hit the metal grate, and me and all my boys started chanting, "You fucked up! You fucked up!" And he's like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, that's about right. He was a dickhead. He was one of the. He was probably the biggest douche out of that whole locker room.
Taz.
Everybody used to. I never really met Taz, but I'm sure he probably was. Everybody used to say it was Bubba, and Bubba was always nice to me. I saw Bubba a lot back then. Bubba and Tommy were my guys. Dreamer was always good to the fans.
Tommy's a fucking angel.
He's always been good to the fans.
Stevie's
awesome to the fans.
Stevie was always, every time I see Stevie, because
Stevie and Meanie were always good to the fans, and Nova were always good to the fans. All BWO was good to the fans.
The inchworm Thomas Rodman, he was very nice. The time I met him at EB Games. The Italian, who was the black Italian guy? The first guy, JD Smooth.
Yeah, JD Smooth.
Yeah, he shopped at Babbage's at the Franklin Mills, and
but yeah, the Dudleys were cool. Devon was cool. Devon was nicer than Bubba. When Bubba was in a bad mood, you knew.
Yeah, Bubba looks like he's a prick, but he knows that.
Yeah, he knows. But he was always good. He was never nasty to me. Candido was cool, but Sonny was a bitch all day.
Oh, where's that?
Chris Candido was cool, but Sonny was a bitch.
This is me and Balls Mahoney.
Oh, Balls was cool. Balls was a good guy too.
He was at a beer distributor. That's me and him at a beer distributor. It was supposed to be Sandman. Sandman didn't show up. Balls Mahoney did, and Sonny was there. But we'll get into this in maybe another episode of whatever this is. I don't like women wrestling. I don't like it. I accept Miss Elizabeth. Not only do I accept Miss Elizabeth,
she should be in the Hall.
She should be in the Hall of Fame. But I learned this week on Viceland or whatever, the Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
The Wrestling Hall of Fame the WWE Hall of Fame is really a ticket gimmick for Vince McMahon to sell tickets. There's not even a legitimate building, and
they have all that like memorabilia. They had like, if there's a Twitter thing that if you follow, it shows you. It's like the archive, and you see all the archive. He has all this stuff. He really could, and if he built it like next to the Performance Center, people would go to the damn thing, and he would sell tickets to get into the damn thing.
Right.
Like if you could go and see like the Andre statue or the Flair statue or the Dusty statue and like all the different memorabilia and the old blue cage and stand and all that stuff and the Undertaker and Foley Hell in the Cell that they don't use anymore. People would pay money to go to that.
Right. I on my honeymoon, I went to the WWE restaurant. So I would definitely go to the Hall of Fame.
I want to go to Hogan's Beach Shop just to go to Hogan's Beach Shop.
Oh yeah.
My buddy Tony has gone to it and has all kinds of pictures. He missed Hogan by like 20 minutes, but saw Jimmy Hart. So it was like,
What do they just rotate in and out?
They're just like Hogan just shows up just to show up and like probably hawk some shit. And
Right.
I think Jimmy lives down the street from the place. So yeah, I mean it's right down.
How old is Jimmy Hart?
Old. He's got to be.
He's got to be over 80, right?
I want to say he's probably just about 80 because he was with.
Because how old's Flair? 71?
Yeah, something like that. He's right around. He's right around.
He's older than Flair.
Not too much because Jimmy was young. When he first started, he was young. But I remember Jimmy with Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman. That was Jimmy Hart was all involved in that.
Yeah.
In the Memphis wrestling thing. But yeah, Jimmy's been around forever. He did like a
softcore pornography league. There was like one league. Yeah, there was one league with like topless thing. I had like a cable hot box that had
I missed the cable hot box.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay, so you know what it is. It's like you get like the illegal channels. Mm-hmm. And one was like the softcore porno channel. And I was just perusing and oops, my finger slipped and I stopped on the softcore porno channel. And look who it is. It's Jimmy Hart. He's the manager of these topless women.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
And so this now my whole stance on women wrestling. Real quick, the reason why I don't like women wrestling is back in my day when I was a kid, when women wrestled, the women who would wrestle, and up until about very recently, up until about 15 years ago, the women were beauty pageant winners who I didn't care about their fights. And when they would throw a punch, it looked like shit and it was awful. I'm sorry. They fucking say it themselves. It's fucking awful. It's fine now, but I just don't.
It depended on who it was back then, though. Like there were certain, like some of the Japanese ones were pretty good. Like Bull Nakano.
Yeah, but how long were they around? Once or twice? You know what I'm saying?
Alundra Blaze, Medusa wasn't bad either. Alundra Blaze wasn't bad.
Well, I never watched. I didn't watch that hillbilly shit.
And then like, but yeah, you're right. And it really didn't start to change until like they had.
And if anybody says anything about these Bella twins, first off, no. They're as bad as these other. They're not good.
They got good on them. They got over with the twin gimmick and they're attractive and they did their thing. Right. No problem. Make your money. Knock yourself out. I'm never going to fault somebody for getting over and making money because there's bad wrestlers that got over and making money that you're just like, what?
That James, the guy with no chin, right?
Oh yeah, he got over on Braun because of Braun knocking him out.
Right.
And he got paid.
Right. And until he was a pedophile, it was going great. It was going great.
But I never fault anybody for getting over and making money. Like
who was it that was the WCW champion that everybody hates?
Ronnie
David
Garvin.
Arquette.
Oh yeah.
When he won the belt, I don't give a shit. It's not a real belt. It's a TV show. It's a belt. It's a thing. But it's a storyline. Vince McMahon had the WWE belt for a second, right? Didn't he have to resign it? Look, it's the same thing. It's just
But then you go back and you see Arquette doing his thing now. Arquette put the work in. Arquette's not bad. He's not like he does the indies. He's not bad.
No, he has a true respect and love for
wrestling. Yeah.
That if I had any type of fame that if I could do anything in wrestling ever, you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
You totally see why all this wrestle, and that's what Vince McMahon knows is wrestling fans want to be part of it, and they got. That's why he had all those famous GM managers.
I went up to the Wild Samoans gym in Allentown in '95. I talked to Afa. I was going to sign up. I was in college. And he's like, I wasn't in the best shape, and I wasn't this, that, or the other thing. And he's like, but I wasn't the big guy at that point. And he's like, he's like, you talk too good to be a professional wrestler. You're going to college, right? And he's like, you come back, see me after you get your degree, then we'll talk about wrestling.
Oh wow!
He kind of talked me out of it because I had the money, and he's like, he could tell I was a mark. You could tell he was a fanboy. And he's like, the funny part is, if the class that I would have went into was Batista's class, I would have got destroyed by Batista for 6 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome.
Close. Yeah, wow. like he came out of that, and there was a bunch of guys that used to go in there all the time, like because of their association with WWE and Vince. Like they would send guys in to bulk up. Batista being one of them, and Billy Kidman was one of the other ones. Mm-hmm. Billy Kidman went to WCW though, but yeah, that's where Batista started, right around then.
Wow, so. I was gonna go to ECW school or something, but the Pitbulls ran a school.
Gary Wolf.
I called, and he called me back, and he goes, "So, why do you want to be a wrestler?" I said, honestly, I've been a fan since a little kid. I'm an adult. I think I know what it could be to be a wrestler. I think I got a gimmick. I think I got something. And he goes, "Well, how much do you weigh?" I said, 160 pounds. He goes, it's, today, 160 pounds, I could be world champion. Mm-hmm. Actually, who's champion right now?
Braun is the Universal, and Drew McIntyre's a big.
I'd say it's probably the first time in history I'm not bigger than any of the wrestlers. The champion. I try to think.
The only small one that you would have been in recent memories would have been Rey Mysterio and Daniel Bryan. Punk's big. Punk's 6'2". Punk's 6'2", 225 when he was.
I'm bigger than that.
You 6'2"? You 6'2"?
I get on my tippy toes. I'm 6'2". That's what Macho Man did. He used to get up on those tippy toes. That's why he had that wingspan fucking gown. Give himself that extra space. I can get myself to be 6'2". Don't you worry about it, CM Punk.
But yeah, Punk was definitely a bigger guy. Bryan was the smallest recently.
I don't know who else was there. I don't know. That's another thing too. It just ever since the Hogan 3-year run, nothing's been the same because they just they change it more than I change my underwear, and that's not that often. So, darkness.
Oh, it's I lost the light. Hold on.
Oh God. How long have we been doing? Well, what else you got in your notes? We should touch some of your notes. We're not even touching your notes. You have 70.
The top 10 wrestlers. My top 10.
Go ahead. I'll tell you yes or I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. Go ahead.
For number 1.
No. 10. Work your way up. Yeah.
10. Triple H.
Okay.
Number 9 is John Cena. Number 8.
Bret Hart. Okay. 8. Bret Hart.
Yep.
Okay.
7 is Undertaker.
Okay.
6 is Macho Man.
Mm-hmm.
5 is The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
4 is Stone Cold. 3
okay.
3 is Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Number 2 is Ric Flair.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah.
Number 1,
Jericho.
Mr. WrestleMania, HBK.
Oh, no Jericho?
Jericho's like 11. I would say 11, 12.
Wow.
I love Jericho, but I'm also smart. I mean, Jericho, he wouldn't be in the main event in the golden era. He definitely wouldn't.
I was having one of my last Facebook arguments was who was a bigger draw, Chris Jericho or Hulk Hogan? And I said to the person, the fact that you even typed this as a question proves to me that you have no clue what you're talking about because you're a moron.
If you said Austin and Hogan, I would say Austin just because of the money at the time.
This is how I could prove you wrong on that. But hold on, I'll tell you. This is. I remember I was at a Raw in 1997, smack dab in the Attitude Era. It was right before the SummerSlam where Rock and Triple H had that ladder match.
That was awesome. I
was at that Raw where Rock had China on her knees, and he goes, "China, look at you down on your knees. Look good." And it was like I showed Cheryl it the other day, And she's like, "Oh my God, it's like almost rape. It's like
Yeah,
the beginning of
basically.
it's the
The
beginning of
Attitude
the
Era was basically that.
it's the beginning of the Me Too movement."
Oh yeah,
And
basically.
um, rock. Shit. So anyway, so everyone was saying, "Oh, Stone." My one friend, the one guy who's sitting, you know how you go to wrestling shows and you make friends with the people sitting around you.
Yep.
I don't know if that's just me, but I just talk to everybody because you're all nerds being nerds together, and you're all at the place to be nerds.
Yep.
So the one guy was saying, "I think Stone Cold Steve Austin is the biggest wrestler of all time," and this is 1997, height of the Attitude Era. I said, "Is your grandmother alive right now?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Does your grandmother know who Hulk Hogan is?" And he said, "Of course." I said, "Would she know who Stone Cold is?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Right." And that's why Hulk Hogan is the biggest wrestler.
Yeah, I go.
Look, Booker T forgave him, Rob.
Yeah. Well, part of it's sometimes the numbers too. Like I also look at the.
Hold on 1 second. Michelle McCool is coming down my Undertaker interview. Can I get a lemon seltzer? Oh no, I have seltzer water. No, I'm good. Thank you, baby. Thank you.
I mean, it kind of depends because like that Austin, the 316 thing was so big. It made so much money during that run. I know Hogan did, but Austin, all he has to do still to this day is walk out, drink a few beers, slam them together. Austin 316, and it's still he does that too, but
Yo.
No.
He don't even need numbers and letters.
Don't get me wrong.
All he needs is this, a boot, and he can just fucking shake. I don't give a fuck.
I think Hogan, was a draw. Don't get me wrong. He was one of the biggest of all time.
He's bigger than Jericho. It's not even the same
comparison. There's no question. Jericho would even say that.
Yeah, the kid argued. It was a what culture page. A what culture. It's a YouTube thing, and they're like, first off, we don't. I always defend Hogan, and they always call me the bigoted American because I like Hulk Hogan, and I'm like, you don't even know me, and I always say the same thing. I'm like, Booker T forgave him. So, the guy was like, well, Jericho sold out the Tokyo Dome the one time for the whatever. And I said, well, I said, Hogan sold out the Silver Dome that one time. And he goes, oh yeah, the Silver Dome, how many does that hold? I said, well,
90.
probably like 80,000, but Vince McMahon said 93. He goes, I don't know about the Silver Dome. I Googled, nothing came up. I said, it's called WrestleMania 3, you fucking moron. I fucking hate you people.
And Hogan wrestled over in New Japan too.
I love.
That's when he was actually a really good wrestler. Like he actually could do a lot of this stuff.
I got this tape. This tape from Hogan, like I got this Hulk Hogan tape from like 1987, and it had like 2 or 3 Hogan Japan matches on it.
Very good.
And holy shit, it's a whole other.
Do an Insiguri, and you're like, Hulk Hogan just did an Insiguri kick.
Yeah. And it was like on a WWF tape, and it was a Hogan Japan thing, and it was the greatest thing ever. And they never wrestled like that. And everybody says he can't wrestle.
No, he could. I think he got lazy after lost the belt. He was very lazy at that point, and then he had creative control and blah blah blah.
Right.
NWO, like when he did the whole heel thing, NWO was big money.
Yeah,
he's always been big money. Like the people always say Flair Hogan, who was I'm like, for the pure wrestler, if you go pure wrestling, probably Flair.
Right.
If you're gonna go overall, probably Hogan. And then this becomes who is the bigger draw, Austin or Hogan. Hogan during that run was huge. Austin during his run was huge. There was a gap between Hogan and Austin where
the Dark Ages. Thank God for ECW.
I mean, like people I said HBK is my top, but I look at it as an overall career thing. Everything that dude did was geared to showcase WrestleMania. And he didn't even win all the time. He
Right.
lost more often than he won.
Right.
And you look at what he did match-wise when he wasn't a douchebag. he did do a lot.
Oh, dude, there's a new shoot interview that just got uploaded from like 25 years ago. Yeah. And I was telling Cheryl, it's fucking awesome because it's dickhead HBK. It's you always hear about, when Shawn was an asshole. Oh, yeah. Well, this is the asshole era. Shawn Michaels talking. Oh, is it a good interview?
Him went like the whole, like they did the dark side of the ring, the Montreal screw job, right? Yeah. And that's where I always was. I always thought it was kind of a work because I thought everybody was kind of in on it. And then you hear what the Undertaker's take on it, and you're like,
"Oh, I didn't hear Where did he talk about that at?
The Last Ride. He talks about it in.
Is there part 3 out yet?
Yeah, it's on 3.
Oh, I didn't see part 3.
He talks about.
Hold on, is this spoiler alert?
No, it's not. No, it's not. I think it's been out already. He was talking about he was upset with Vince because he didn't include him in it because Undertaker at the time was
locker room. Yeah.
The locker room guy. Yeah, he was regardless of what you do the business, and it shouldn't have been like if Brett didn't want to do the job to hand over the belt like he should have because Brett was kind of a douche not wanting to drop the belt. I understood it was Canada, and he kind of made it a big deal. But if you're leaving, you drop the belt. Don't be a douche.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but to him, it did.
The match could be in the house or where you were born. You're leaving the company. You lose the belt. If you're not going to lose to Shawn Michaels, just say to Vince,
Undertaker.
Give me somebody else. Right. I'll lose the Undertaker. I'll lose to this guy.
Undertaker was, and the thing is, if Undertaker told Michaels not to try to screw Austin out during the run there when Austin,
right?
Because Michaels didn't want to do that. This was douchebag Shawn didn't want to drop the belt to Stone Cold, and right. Undertaker's like, I'll make sure you do it. It's I'll beat your ass in the middle.
No, what's weird though?
In the locker room.
I'm really glad Undertaker didn't start using his real voice till recently because it's not really it's very
he's not intimidating.
No, I'm like I'm not. I'm sure I'd still be scared to death if I seen him, but if I was talking to him on the phone, I talk shit. But the Undertaker, I never would talk shit to.
And you would think that Kane's like this big scary dude. Kane's like the nicest dude on the planet. I met Kane working at Wawa. I was a GM at Wawa, and Kane, the one down by the airport, they used to come in all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And Kane, it was Kane and Dustin Rhodes. They were super nice. Kane was like the super nicest. But anyway.
Oh, dude, I was going to have an interview with Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, Dustin. What at the Comic-Con thing?
Yeah.
Dustin sounds like he's a good interview. Too.
That
he's straight. That he's not like losing his mind on.
I just thought it would have been interesting to tell him that I saw him wrestle in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All those generations of since '90 to we saw him wrestle last 6 months ago. We saw him wrestle,
and then.
Well, hey, real quick, we got to wrap. Oh, they're doing the go home signal, but
okay.
But real quick, there was an AEW pay per view last night.
Yep,
I know.
Fun.
And do we have? You have a lot of notes left because we could do this again.
No, I don't have a lot of notes. I mean, I have notes, but it's fine. We can always come back to stuff.
I actually like maybe if we could just hit on a topic. Like I'm thinking about how we could just talk about Bret Hart because you probably know so much more about Bret Hart, and I could just chime in every 10 minutes about. I think he's a douchebag. I think he's a douchebag. I know he had a stroke, but I think he's a douchebag.
There's things we could do Bret Hart for a whole episode of why Bret Hart is a douchebag now because you watch that Dark Side of the Ring about Owen and you're just like, dude, that's your family. It's your family, regardless of what your thought process is. I can never all the people. I always wanted Owen to go into the Hall of Fame because he deserved it. Because I thought Owen was great.
Right.
But I
never heard her side.
I'm like, I'll never ever say that again because that's her wish, and
it makes sense. Right. And she's 100%.
And it makes
sense. And her kids are right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and I'm like this, and people are like, "Oh, why doesn't his son want to do it?" I'm like, his dad died. I wouldn't want to.
His dad died because of his sailboat clip.
Yeah.
Oh, why does she keep that? Why does she keep that?
And that's crazy.
Right? Why does she keep that? I don't know.
And the fact that that Jimmy Corderas was saying his last thing that Owen said was to look
out. I heard that before. Yeah.
And you're like, he was thinking of somebody else and he was about to die, and he's thinking of somebody, not killing somebody else in the process, because Jimmy Corderas would have been hit if he didn't move.
Yeah.
Jimmy Corderas probably would have died too.
Yeah,
I was watching that pay-per-view when it happened.
I did too, yeah.
And like, it still bothers me that they continued. And like, you see, like, the thing that always sticks out to me was when the next match, I think, was Jeff Jarrett, and him and Jeff were super tight.
And Deborah,
and Deborah are basically crying before they're walking out.
We're gonna go get this one for you, Owen.
And it's like, are you?
And the one thing that always stuck out to me is when Jerry the King Lawler and JR were talking. There is a guy behind JR who does this in the background. And he's like, this Owen Hart is not making it. And once I saw that, I was like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah.
And then 10 seconds, like 10 minutes later, they announced he's dead, and they kept the show going on.
I'll never ever say for him, even as the fans want him to be there. Nope. He doesn't need to be there. He's in the Hall of Fame as
no. And I also I think while the Hall of Fame is a nice sentiment for what it's not. We got to stop calling it a Hall of Fame, because it's not a Hall of Fame. It should be called a Spotlight Night, because there's no Hall of Fame. Because honestly, you hear that term Hall of Fame, and maybe
you want to see like.
No, I hear the term Hall of Fame.
Like Cooperstown, you want to go to the place.
The term Hall of Fame is prestigious, and I'm stupid. So I think Wrestling Hall of Fame, prestigious. Baseball Hall of Fame, prestigious. Well, Owen Hart is a prestigious wrestler. He belongs in the Hall of Fame. Owen Hart's wife's a bitch because he won't let her in the Hall of Fame. Nope. And then she goes, there isn't a Hall of Fame. Nope, it's all fantasy. And she's right. And a matter of fact, 100%. Even if there was a Hall of Fame, a WWE Hall of Fame, it's fantasy. It's all Vince McMahon.
Yep.
Miss Elizabeth isn't in the Hall of Fame, but Snoop Dogg is.
Yeah, it's a money grab thing, and it's more, it's to get somebody more money, like, and the fact that the Vince is looking at suing AEW now because Jake Roberts wore his Hall of Fame on TV, and you can clearly see the ring on TV. So they're like, "Oh, that's our property." Jake had his ring on camera because he's holding the microphone, and you can clearly see the Hall of Fame ring.
I think they're just strategically.
Of course they are.
Just being mean for no reason. And I think the meaner they are,
the worse it
is. What happened at this fucking pay-per-view, man?
The pay-per-view was really cool. Like, the end match, the main event was the Elite, which is the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. And they had Matt Hardy.
Hangman Page is he's
one of the Elite. Yeah,
I thought the Elite were the owners.
Well, kinda. The Elite is the whole Elite is Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, Marty Scurll. I know, like, whatever. Yeah, but they had this match. It was the Elite versus the Inner Circle. Jericho's got.
Right.
So you had the Elite and Matt Hardy versus the Inner Circle, which is Santana and Ortiz, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, and Jericho.
The names in AEW are awful.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying.
Cool. I
hate him. I hate him with his tongue.
But I think he's gonna be one of the stars. MJF.
It's okay. Let me hate
Jungle
him.
Boy.
MJF's I love MJF more
MJF's one of the best.
He's my. Actually, I would say I don't even watch. I don't think I've ever seen him wrestle. He's my favorite wrestler. I swear to God. I don't think I've ever seen the guy fucking wrestle.
He won last night, but
he wrestled?
Yeah, he wrestled Jungle Boy.
Oh, Luke Perry's son.
Yeah, Luke Perry's son.
I know nobody likes to call him that. That's why I call him that.
Well, he embraced, because JR keeps calling him Jack Perry. He just kind of embraces it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think JR forgets where he is sometimes now, but that's besides the point.
I tell you what, I listen to his podcast,
and
his breathing doesn't sound good.
No, he since he left WWE, things have been rough on JR.
Well, his wife died. Yeah,
his wife died, and he's kind of. I think that keeps him kind of chugging along. But anyway, so the main event was called the Stadium Stampede match, and you know Jericho was going to. They fought all over the place through the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. The spots were ridiculous. They did a moonsault off the end zone, off the uprights on the end zone. Jericho's crew was dressed in football pads and like football uniforms.
Oh wow!
It was.
Where do you watch? Where do you watch an AEW pay per view?
It's on Bleacher Report. I got a stream.
Oh, how much? How much does it cost for the stream?
Like $50, but I didn't pay for it. I got mine for free. I got a hookup on the illegal stream. I shouldn't say that, but yeah.
Oh, it's okay. This does make this. If I do figure out how to get this on YouTube, this is an hour and 15 minutes in. Whenever I do the live streams, people only watch, believe it or not, like 17 minutes of that mess. So nobody. Once in a while, people do make it all the way, and they'll go, "Holy shit, you guys talk for a long time."
That was a fun. You know how like with WrestleMania, how they had the Firefly Funhouse match. And, what was the Boneyard match?
Yeah.
The Stadium Stampede, same type of breath. It was.
I gotta see that. It
was fun. It was a fun match. Then you had John Moxley.
Do you think it's on YouTube now?
I'm sure it'll be there. Hangman Page came out on a horse and ran over Sammy Guevara on the horse.
Was his tongue sticking out while he was I hate that.
Running from the horse? No, I don't remember, but it was ridiculous. Like, he's gotten run over in the last month. He's gotten run over by a golf cart.
It's really good. Yo, I don't watch any wrestling except for pay-per-view Sundays. I don't watch, but every time whenever we watch anything of AEW, we love it. We think it's great. The guys, I feel, I don't feel dirty giving that company money. I feel dirty. Like when I watch that Saudi show,
dirty.
I honestly, I feel dirty watching it, but I love these fucking Friday afternoon pay-per-views, brother.
Of course.
I love them.
It's a good time to just sit and hang out and you're not doing anything. But that was cool. That was a fun match. John Moxley defended his title against Brody Lee, Luke Harper.
Wait, Brody Lee.
The exalted one.
Right. He gets a title. That's going to be it. They can't be doing that. They can't be giving the WWE guys shots right off the jump.
But those guys with the mask.
I know.
The Dark Order. He's the leader. It's kind of like they've been setting it up, and then they had this like ladder match type thing, kind of like Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
For a shot at the AEW title, and a bunch of the guys were in it, like Darby Allin and Joey Janela.
Oh yeah.
Colt Cabana and.
Who
Taz came out and introduced a new guy, Brian Cage, who won. The new guy won. He came from TNA.
He's a real big dude, right?
Yeah, but he's built like
like
Steiner would be.
Like a Vince McMahon wet dream, right? Like
he's definitely. The only thing is he's not that tall. He's just 6 foot.
Well, look. That's my perfect height. I understand,
but Vince likes the 6'4", like John Moxley's 6'4". I mean, he loves the big guys. Like Roman Reigns is wet dream. Roman Reigns, Rock are his wet dreams. They're 6'5".
Listen, they're giving us the go home sign.
Yeah.
Well, we got the main event. What was the main event?
the main. There's the two main events was.
Yeah, why?
Was
I saw Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was shirtless.
That was the third. That was the third thing.
Why was Mike Tyson shirtless on
Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson was there as the enforcer for the TNT title.
Oh, that's such a fuck you to the WWE.
Of course it was.
Oh, it's so good.
It was Cody versus the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, Jake Roberts guy. He's a big giant.
Oh, did Jake Roberts show up to that? Did Jake Roberts show up?
Yeah, Jake Roberts was there. He's in the corner with Lance Archer.
Oh, I know. No, I've been watching him with DDP. He was self-quarantining, but he's been
fine. He's past the quarantine phase, and he's tested fine. Because they won't let anybody into the building with AEW unless they test them all the time. Like, if you watch the show, they have wristbands on that says they've been temp checked and tested. That they've had their test. Most of them just stay in the area and don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing for the time being. But Tony Khan spent a lot of money to keep getting them tested.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I mean, and they're really, from what Cody has said, they've been very adamant about making sure that people are following through with things, because there's dudes that they've sent home,
right?
Because they came up.
Well, I heard at WrestleMania, The Miz had a case of the sniffles, and fucking somebody was like, "You get the fuck out of here, you fucking."
Basically.
So why was Mike Tyson shirtless?
So he stopped Jake Roberts from interfering.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson fought Jake the Snake Roberts in 20.
He intimidated. He didn't touch Jake Roberts, but he intimidated him.
He didn't have to take his shirt on. Jake the Snake was like, "Listen, guy, I got it."
And it was kind of like he handed Cody the new belt, which looks kind of like a can of Budweiser. It looks like a Budweiser can, the TNT title. It's like their TV title, basically.
It looks like is it shitty?
It's red. It's red and silver. It looks like a Budweiser can.
What's your favorite belt of all time?
The Winged Eagle, the WWF Winged Eagle, the big belt.
Which one? Wait. Which Hogan's Winged Eagle? Or no,
the circular one.
You're talking about like HBK, Shawn Michaels.
That was a cool belt.
Yeah, I saw it once, at the Spectrum, and they had the wing belt for sale for $400.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had money. I was gonna buy it. Right. I won this lawsuit, so I said I'm gonna buy myself one stupid thing with this lawsuit money, and I said I'm gonna buy this fucking belt. And I was getting ready to buy it. I said, wait, I want black. I don't want white. Why is it white? And they said, oh, this dickhead, Ultimate Warrior, his colors. Yeah. So I want the Ultimate Warrior. I said, why don't you just have the Ultimate Warrior belt? Why don't you have everybody fucking else's? Why do you have to limit it to? I said, I'm never going to have this money ever again in my lifetime to waste it on this stupid fucking belt. And you guys don't even fucking have it here. No, I said, well, give me that Shane McMahon T-shirt. Give me that Undertaker T-shirt.
No, the Warrior belt was lame. Like the Intercontinental, the original Intercontinental
perfect Intercontinental. Cool. Perfect Intercontinental.
It was great. But the Winged Eagle was cool. And I had appreciation for a while, like the NWA belt for the
one Flair took to.
Yeah, I had some appreciation for that. But then it was like, that looks like you were getting it out of a Cracker Jack box, but it was worth the most.
My favorite belt of like the past like 10 years was Daniel Bryant's WWE like hemp belt champion. Belt. I swear, I was like, I fucking love that. I love that belt. My least favorite belt is the spinning belt, but my brother went to a wrestling autograph thing, and Mr. Kennedy was there, and I used to go on tirades about this fucking belt. So he said he gets to meet Mr. Kennedy. He goes, my brother won't shut the fuck up about this belt. If anybody else gets to win the belt, can they switch it back to a regular belt, or does Vince and Kennedy said, "Do you know how many different versions of that spinning belt they sell? They'll never stop making that belt until it's done making money." And that was like 6 years. And poor Punk had that piece of shit belt his whole run. And then The Rock said, nah, I don't want that.
He's not having that John Cena belt.
No, I don't want that.
That Cena belt.
No, fucking, I felt bad about that for Punk.
Yeah, like, Punk had one of my all-time favorite matches. Not a WWE match.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, nerd. Where's that?
Him versus Samoa Joe in Ring of Honor was great. Number 2. But if you look, Punk had a bunch of really cool matches too in the WWE. The match with Cena was at SummerSlam was great.
Oh, that fucking crowd! It wasn't just, and the match was great, but the fucking crowd. Yeah, that's what you're finding out during this pandemic is how important that crowd is. Because I like the Cena, Rob Van Dam one.
Oh yeah, that was great at ECW.
Oh, that crowd! Holy shit!
I kept saying and they wanted to do it. The building wasn't up to code to run it. They wanted to put it in the ECW arena. When they did the NXT show from ECW, could you imagine old school ECW arena guys seeing John Cena walk out and like him, the reaction, like he wasn't used to that was the beginnings of the John Cena sucks.
Right. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was what made it
like this. And it was like, that was such a great like thing. But then I go back and look at it, I'm like, man, were we all wrong? Because John Cena was, I'm going to say, it was kind of awesome for his entire run. The dude put over guys. He carried
he squashed a lot of careers, man.
He did. Alex Riley, he definitely did. The Nexus thing, he kind of.
The Nexus thing was stupid as shit.
They should have never won. It should have been the Nexus guys to win.
I still don't understand the Zack Ryder thing. I don't know why he had to fuck his buddy's friend.
That was bad too.
Yeah. We just talked about 3 reasons why he's a scumbag. But why is he an angel?
But then you go see like the thing he's been doing the last like 5 years, where he's been putting dudes over. He put Daniel Bryan over. He did put CM Punk over. He did put Seth Rollins over. He did go put he put Kevin Owens over. Kevin Owens beat his ass.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. You know what sucks about Kevin Owens is I love him.
I love him to death. He's my favorite. He's my favorite current guy.
Huh? I'm setting up the pool tomorrow. Listen, the world's talking to me about get out of here, Jules. It's 60 degrees out.
Kevin Owens is great.
Kevin, they don't know what he has to be a bad guy. I don't like him as a good guy.
No, he did. When he was doing the run in Ring of Honor before he left as the good guy, it was like, nah, you dude, for last year you were wrestling's worst nightmare and hated everybody and called us all dickheads and said we were a bunch of stupid marks. And he had like when he's the bad guy, he's so much better as the bad guy.
Not that I like Randy Orton, good guy or bad guy. Whatever Randy Orton is doing, it's usually it's when I mean Doug are doing our smoke break, that or a women's match. But
his match with Edge was his match
horrific.
It was fun, but
we're gonna get after 40 minutes. We need a rematch. Boy, the Edge is back for the first time in 100 years. Let's have him fight the guy he's already fought 200 times twice. Please.
Protecting him to keep him from getting hurt.
Have him fight AJ Styles. AJ Styles will protect him. I'm not a wrestler.
I want to see him fight AJ.
I'm not a wrestler. Like I'm not like you know.
I want to see him fight. I want to see him fight AJ.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-fucking-brainer.
The actual safest guy in the WWE is one that I respected because I thought he was one of the better heels of all time. I say that with Miz. Miz is probably the safest dude on the whole roster.
Yeah.
He doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, but I give a fuck about him, his character, his dad. Fuck him. I don't. And now he's a rich guy with a reality show and a hoity-toity wife, and I'm supposed to give a shit.
Oh no, but he's the heel. Like when he's,
I like him as a guy. Awesome. I like him as a guy. I really do. I just don't care about his wrestling.
Yeah, when he did that thing with when he called Daniel Bryan out, that was great.
It was great. Yeah.
Do that. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
And like Owens, when we were saying about Owens, his run with the Universal title, he should have never lost to Goldberg. Should have never lost to Goldberg. It should have been him and Jericho for the belts.
Why is
him
he?
And Jericho should have
Riddle me this. This is something I don't fucking get. In 03 or 04, when Goldberg finally comes to the WWE, when he finally comes, when he's the youngest, strongest, the toughest he'll ever be, they have him fucking lose, right? He comes back 80 years later, a skinny old man with a gray beard. He beats everybody. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I didn't understand.
Why did he beat the Fiend? Why did he lose to the Fiend? Should be Hulk Hogan. 3 years. I was getting ready to buckle in for a 3-year run with this fucking guy. And Goldberg thinks he's a superhero.
That was that's one of the worst booking things I've ever seen them do. Owens losing to Goldberg was stupid. It should have never happened. It would have been Jericho and Owens, U.S. title versus Universal title. That whole nonsense that they were doing, that was brilliant. And they screwed it up to give the Goldberg title so he could lose to Lesnar, which was dumb. And then Goldberg beating the Fiend again.
Lesnar doesn't need a belt. He doesn't need a belt.
He doesn't. Nope.
He does. He's a draw. It's Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar versus a broomstick. I'm watching. Say what you will about a Brock Lesnar match. No matter what the match is, I'm watching it like this. My fucking face, I'm crammed into that screen. It's 5-10 minutes.
There's been good. Like, I was anti-Brock coming back because I thought some of his first couple ones when he came back, and I still don't think he should have broke the streak. If anybody was going to, probably him, and then Undertaker should retire. But I don't kind of want Undertaker to retire because he's the last of the golden era. He's the last one. Needless to say, the match that Goldberg and Undertaker had was horrifically the worst match I've ever seen. One of the worst matches ever.
That was a bad match, yeah.
And if anybody was there, like I always said, if it was going to be somebody to beat Undertaker at WrestleMania, it has to be somebody that's going to go forward and take the business over.
Right.
Roman Reigns, John Cena.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been Brock Lesnar.
No.
The fact that they were talking about it before being Edge, I was like, I love Edge, but no.
No.
Edge said no, he wasn't being the guy to break the streak.
It should have been
Roman Reigns.
No, maybe if Punk.
Yeah, Punk could have two or Brett.
I was very scared when it was always Triple H because you're thinking about the politics.
Yeah.
But then you going back and
he lost all the time to WrestleMania. Triple H lost the most at WrestleMania.
I know. But you
his
think,
first WrestleMania match, he got squashed.
But you think you don't know the backstory. You didn't know what it was. You don't know. We didn't know what it was then, what it is now. Like and so you thought, well, maybe Triple H has such an ego. He's such an egotistical asshole that he would get the streak, but he's not. So, but
no. He's definitely, he understands the business. That's why I always say I can't wait for him to take over.
I don't think he is. They're saying it was for sale. He was getting ready to sell it.
Because that's crazy.
He's getting ready to sell it to Disney and the Disney.
Well, if Disney's smart, they let Triple H be the guy and let him run it because NXT is better than the main roster right now.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I watch it. You know what? I don't. Maybe I will. Maybe I will watch it.
I think that they give them more latitude with their characters to develop. Like the two guys that they've let kind of grow.
Oh, no, I'm saying if Disney buys WWE.
It's tough. I mean, I didn't want to watch Star Wars, but I ended up watching Star Wars.
I haven't watched any of that shit.
Oh, I mean, that's not your thing. No,
I was a Star Wars kid. When I was a kid, Star Wars was my thing. And I watched the second version, like the Star Wars 1, 2, and 3. I watched all of them. They're piles of shit. But they came out the new ones. I saw them kill my childhood hero Han Solo, and I said, well, that's enough. I don't need to watch Luke Skywalker die. Fuck them. So I don't need to watch wrestling. I don't know if I want to watch wrestling if a crazy Vince McMahon's not in charge.
Yeah. Oh, and I think wrestling needs Vince McMahon. At some point, I think they need to turn it over to Triple H, just because I think he has a healthy respect for the business, and I think he'll.
They should do the. They should definitely have somebody else running it now. Right, yeah. Like Vince McMahon. I saw a part of that Triple H speech the other way. He's losing his fucking mind. The XFL.
Yeah.
I saw that might be coming back.
Oh.
Vince, please. It's a scorn love. You're not going to have the football league, and I feel bad because it was doing good.
It was. I think if the pandemic didn't happen, they were definitely coming back.
They were coming to Philadelphia.
The football games were actually kind of fun to watch. You were like this. We didn't have a rooting interest because I didn't root for any of those other teams.
Right.
But I was like, this is kind of fun.
Right.
It was like, hey,
NASCAR is on right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I said, I'm not watching the news, so I don't know if people are talking about this. But I don't know why I'm not. I'm doing this, but I don't know why the whole world is not watching NASCAR right now.
Dude, people were watching the Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, Phil Mickelson golf thing like it was the greatest thing ever.
I did a live stream today, and someone asked me about that, and I thought they were joking with me. That was a real thing.
It was a match thing. Like Tom Brady was kicking. I only saw little bits of it. Tom Brady was kicking the shit out of Peyton Manning basically, and ripped his pants bending over to get a ball out of the hole. Split it right up the ass.
Well, Tom Brady's not retired. Why is Tom Brady doing that? Tom Brady's still. Wait, Gronkowski has the 24/7 belt, and Tom Brady gets to play golf.
He's about to lose that on national television. Vince is cooking that up. He's going to get Mojo's going to come out and pin him.
Oh, you think Mojo's going to get it?
Or it would be better if it was R-Truth, but it's going to be probably be Mojo.
No. It should be R-Truth. It should be R-Truth.
Always be R-Truth.
Dude, and I know people think R-Truth's fucking.
He's the best.
Dude, he just likes to fucking have fun. That guy.
He is one of the nicest guys ever. He's he's super laid back and.
Yeah.
He was they were doing The Wrestler, filming The Wrestler.
Yeah.
He was down there. The hell was he? He's in one of the scenes. He was doing a lot of the stuff. Super nice guy. He's one of the nicest. He's like one of the super laid back, nicest dudes you would ever want to meet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it always should be like again. Guy that got over organically being a goof, and he's never. Vince loves him.
That's why he got over because Vince likes him. That's why he got over.
Like the thing that bothers me, like you see guys.
Was he the Black Pope?
No, that was the hell was his name? The Black Pope was D'Angelo Dinero.
Something like that. I always thought that was the baddest fucking name. I was like the Black Pope. I was like, fuck yeah.
He was in the new version of ECW. What the hell was his name in ECW? And then he went over to Impact and was the
Black
Elijah
Pope.
Burke. It was Elijah Burke was the guy. Then he went over to TNA as D'Angelo Dinero, the Black Pope, and the gimmick was cool, but he was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like some guys get great gimmicks and mess them up. Like Mordecai was a great gimmick that came out. Do you remember Mordecai?
No.
He was like he was kind of like the anti-Undertaker. He wore the white robes.
Oh yeah.
Great gimmick. Terrible wrestler and had no charisma whatsoever. You could do a whole show about great gimmick, terrible wrestler.
You know what? It's a 1, 2, 3. Oh, this match is over. We'll do this again. I don't even know how long what time we start. 7:15. So yeah, 2 hours. Fantastic. I don't even know what the hell was on topic, but we'll come back.
We could do
right. We'll do this.
We could do a long time doing this.
Right. I knew this was going to be a home run because of all your knowledge. Now, if I could figure out a way to do this and to get the other people to talk, we'll figure out a way to do that. But another good thing is that I have friends who are sort of wrestlers who I could probably get to zoom in with us. They're indie wrestlers. So maybe we could have them pop on.
That's okay. Cool.
Right. No, yeah. And like they work with Tommy Dreamer. They work at House of Hardcore. So
House of Hardcore is awesome.
One guy was just getting started, and the other guy he's worked some stuff. So I just thinking outside the box. So we'll do this once in a while. We'll pop them up on YouTube. We'll come up with a name for this. You just text me back and forth. We'll figure it out, and we'll how do you end this? What do? You hit end or you hit stop recording. All right, yeah. I'm gonna hit. All right, so what's a good wrestling thing? What's a good way to end?
How does Fink sign off a pay-per-view?
It would just be the thing in the corner. It would fade out. That's what I always look for. What did Lord Alfred Hayes always say? These parts are commotions. Oh fuck! What would he say? Promotional considerations paid for by following. That's what he said.
Then you would have Stacker 2 or some crap.
Yeah. All right. So let me do my awful Lord Alfred Hayes again. Promotional considerations paid for by following.